Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Joy Ijoma Meribe, and I just wanted to make this very quick video. I didn't plan it, but last night someone sent me a video, a friend, that really made me want to do this video to say my thoughts on that. And this video, there's this woman. Later I'll play the video for you so you can listen to her yourself and feel her pain. There's this woman whose son decided to end it. You know what I mean? I don't want to use any word that would make YouTube flag this video. However, a young man decided to end it all. And the mother was left with the pain, the family, the sisters and the brothers. And it was really hard to listen to, but if you can, listen to it.
And he committed in my veranda, and my two small children are the ones who found him. And they kept telling me, "Mami, come and see. Kuna game mbaya chichi anacheza." And it was a Sunday evening and we had just had supper. And I thought that it was just one of his antics because he was a difficult boy. He became very difficult after he failed his Form 4 exams. And so finally when they kept going and coming, and I was in my room. When I went outside, I found my son hanging on my veranda. And the most wicked sight in my life is to see his tongue hanging almost up till here. Because I screamed and I climbed up immediately and I collected him and I put him down. And I rushed. I started calling his sisters to take him to hospital. So we rushed to hospital. But when we reached there, the hospital told us that nobody actually was doing anything. They checked it. I told them to put him on oxygen because he was lacking oxygen. And his fingers had become gray because there was no oxygen. That usually happens after 2 minutes. Or about 6 minutes of lack of oxygen in the body. So I walked out and I just went and I told God, "God, please help me. Please help me." So when I went back, they were not doing anything. I asked them, "Why aren't you doing anything?" And then it just dawned on me that actually it was over. And as it was over, there was no need for oxygen. There was no need for anything else. And so we had to wait there until we reported to the chief, reported to Embakasi police, and wait until about 3 o'clock when the police vehicle came to take my son and put him in a vehicle car and take him to the mortuary. That is the most wicked, hateful thing that you'd ever need to see. Youth. Hakuna kitu ngumu sana ile huwezi kuongea. There is nothing so hard that cannot be discussed. Whether it was sexual violence, which I came to discover that he had been sodomized, whether it was bullying in school, whether it was peer pressure, whether it was failing his exams. So when he failed his exams, first of all, his knowing depression makes you have all the symptoms that are mentioned in that paper. All of them, he had them. He would come to the sitting room, he's dressed in his underwear, he doesn't care, he doesn't come out of bed. So I used to insist he comes and eats with us. He doesn't want to eat with us. And so they become very difficult when depression hits. So recognize, please, when somebody starts shutting down, there's a problem. This boy had grown up as a very healthy, loving, fun-loving boy, full of love, full of laughter, full of jokes. But something happened somewhere along the line, and he just started withdrawing. And I kid you not, within 6 months, he had committed. Youth, I want to tell you, you know, you can think that you're the one in the problem. There's a place you will reach, you will be unable to pull yourself out again. So before you reach that pit, Before you reach that bottom, please ensure that you have talked to somebody. Please ensure that you have shared with somebody. There's nothing too hard. There's nothing too hard. Bible says there is nothing new under the sun. So anything that you're going through is not new. It has happened to somebody else and it can be solved. We buried my son, but now the after effects are the worst. Because now I kept blaming myself. What didn't I do? What did I do? I tried to be as supportive as I wanted. He refused school. One day he just said, Mami sirudi hiyo shule. And that was it. I had to look for another school for him to go to. And when he went to another school again, then he refused to attend lessons. And then he attends exams, and then he's shocked that he fails his exams. And so when we showed him his results and he came home with the results, he couldn't believe it, and that's when he started going downhill. So the sisters, his sisters, my children, all tried to encourage him to do other things. You can't sit. Do you want to go to driving school? Do you want to go to college? Do you want to draw? Because he was a very good artist. Do you want to draw? What do you want to do? We'll do it for you. He says, Bado siko tayari, bado sijajua, I'll let you know. Then that day, he himself. But what it has happened, the after effects, is that thereafter, I'm the one who hit depression. I couldn't believe, I couldn't think, I couldn't eat. I couldn't think, how do you bury a 20-year-old son? A boy with mandevu? Somebody, how do you bury your son? Just how do you bury your son? In August this year, we went to fix his grave. And there's nobody who feels the pain apart from a mother, apart from a brother, apart from a sister. Nobody feels that pain. You might think that you're in a pit, but you're not. There is always help. I want to thank the government for making mental health a priority, because we would have lost so many. When we were going to collect my son that day, we were so many parents. We left at 5 in the morning because we were going to Siaya. And I tell you, 6 parents were there because of 6 parents. And those that were in there that were waiting to be collected the following day, some were being brought in. We cannot lose youth for something that has got a solution. We cannot lose you who have got the energy to build our country for something that has got solutions. I beg you to engage with the processes that are available for us, for the options that are open for us, and please, so that you don't hurt your parents also. Because even when you go, the pain remains with us. The pain remains with the sisters, the pain remains with the brother, and the stigma that is associated with. I personally don't care. I personally don't care what anybody thinks about me. And that is why I said that just to honor my son's memory, I will speak about mental health. Thank you very much.
As you can hear from this woman, that was a 20-year-old young man. And this really got me thinking about so many things, about how people don't take mental health seriously. As you can hear from the mother, she said the child was difficult. And this video is in no way trying to blame the mother, because that woman is in very difficult pain. And I don't know how she lives with the sight she saw before she took her son down. You could hear it from the video. And my prayers are with her and with the whole family. And this is just the one who spoke up. There are so many families going through the same thing. This got me really, really thinking about the kind of relationship we have with our children. We as parents, God knows we will make mistakes. But let us not persevere in our mistakes. Let us be closer to our children and try to talk with them. Not everything is about stubbornness. Not everything is about being difficult. And sometimes let us also ask our children questions. Realize that whatever thing they are going through, even though it doesn't mean anything to us, even though it's nothing to us, for them, that is deep, no matter what it is. And one of the things I've learned along the way in my growth is never ever minimize anybody's pain, never ever minimize anybody's feelings. Right from when my children were little, I took that decision not just to take care of them financially with my service in any way, but also to take their emotional state and their psychological state seriously. And there is nothing I don't take seriously. The moment my child is worried about something, I have to go deep, I have to ask questions. And this doesn't make me the best mother. This makes me the mother who is trying her best, just like a lot of other mothers. And especially in Africa, the issue of mental health is not taken seriously. And maybe because of this era of social media, and we are beginning to know how rampant it is, not just outside Africa, but even in our own homes, how rampant it is that people go through depression and anxiety and different types of mental illness, and we don't even catch it, we don't even notice it. Sometimes we tell the person you complain a lot, you cry a lot, you are too emotional, you are thinking too much. And that is just some ways of dismissing what that person is feeling in that moment. Make yourself accessible. Now, what I mean by that is not that you make yourself absorb everybody's negativity, because at some point when you are the one listening to everybody's problem, sometimes it has a way of overburdening you. But one thing in that moment, if you decide to give a listening ear, please, if you do not have any solution to what that person might be going through, just listen. Be there for the person to vent. Do not be judgmental. Do not try to minimize. Do not try to dismiss. Do not try to proffer solutions that you don't even know whether they are going to work or not. If you have the means, if you can get help for the person, a professional help, do not make yourself a professional of something you do not know anything about. And this also starts from when our children are little. If we make the habit of listening to them, of not dismissing anything, even if it is something that happened between them and their friends, and you see they are feeling hurt by that, do not dismiss it. Try to kind of let your child find comfort in talking to you. I know a lot of parents are busy. Sometimes you don't even have time to listen to every one of your children, but we have this responsibility towards them that wouldn't cost us that much, to listen to our children, to understand them, and never ever dismiss whatever it is they are going through. When you start seeing those changes, and when your child starts becoming more difficult than usual, remember that as parents, you think they don't know what hardship is. And maybe you think because we have passed the stage they are in, and we are facing the world and much more difficult situations, when a 10-year-old child comes to you to talk about how his friend did this and he felt sad, and you look at it and say, oh, children will be children, just dismiss it. Don't do that. Make the habit of listening actively and making your child feel and know and realize that you are actually listening and taking him or her seriously. There are some things my children would tell me when they were younger, and sometimes I just feel like laughing in their faces because it's funny, it's nothing to me, but knowing that as a parent, in so many areas of their lives, I have decided to be intentional and never dismiss anything. I will sit down there and listen and ask questions and talk to my child and ask them how they feel. And maybe when they go to school and come back the next day, I'll ask them, how is that situation? How did you resolve it? Did you talk to your friend? Did you explain yourself? And there have been a lot of things that maybe one would say they don't matter. From the height of your years as an adult, to you it doesn't mean anything. But to that child, it means everything. It could mean the end of the world to that child. And for you to bring that child out of that feeling, dismissing and and minimizing wouldn't help. Let the child know that you understand their pain, you acknowledge their pain. Don't make fun of anything your child tells you or dismiss it or say, God, just, and sometimes we think it's normal, and we as parents, we love our children. We could give our lives for our children, but sometimes this is all we know. A lot of us, we need to unlearn so many things and realize that our children are evolving. A lot of things that happen to us, even though we survived them, a lot of the kind of treatments we got, even though we survived them, doesn't mean our children should go through that. We grow up and remember a lot of things that hurt us as children, and sometimes we find ourselves repeating the same pattern because that is all we know. Apart from intellectual knowledge, education to excel in our careers, we also have to seek other types of knowledge to learn how to unlearn some of our ways, some of the things we saw growing up, and be present in the lives of our children. And sometimes children just close up and don't want to say anything. You as a mother, as a father, as an auntie, whoever you are to that child, try to ask questions, try to dig deeper, and actively listen. There are some things that when we do not start it when the children were younger, we get to a certain age and we feel awkward having that type of relationship with our children. For those who have children who are already grown, who did not start some sort of communication or relationship with their children, they might find it harder. But mothers right now who have younger children and are still raising their children, please make the habit of having an open line of communication with your children. Listen to them and let them grow up knowing that they can always come to you with their problems and that you are not going to blame them. When a child comes to you with their mistake, they already know they made a mistake, and they come to you with it. Let the first thing you do not be to blame them or criticize. The next day, they are not going to come to you with their mistakes. Sometimes I tell my children, whatever you do, come to me, I'm your mother. Even if I am angry with you, even if I'm disappointed, you are my child. You are the most precious thing I have. Come to me. Talk to me about it. And when I promise my children I am not going to lash out and blame them and shout, sometimes I have to really contain myself. I have to keep to that. Now I am not perfect. I make a lot of mistakes with them. And when I realize my mistakes, I come back to them to say, I am sorry. And this brings me to one thing. Some of us grew up without our parents apologizing to us, even when they realized they made a mistake with us. And we also are doing that as parents, even when we realize we made some mistakes with our children. We do not apologize to them because we think we are losing our authority. We might lose power we have with them. There is really no need to wield power over your children. Your assignment is to raise them. And personally, I don't believe in presenting myself perfect before my children. I own up my mistakes. I try to learn from them. I even ask them questions. Sometimes we'll have some meetings. I'll tell my children, let's do a SWOT analysis. My strength as a mother, what you appreciate about me as a mother, what part of me you don't like, things I need to improve on. Now, that doesn't mean I am trying to excessively please my children for them to like me. That is not my goal. I know that so many things they will not understand that I'm doing now, just as I did not understand so many things my mother was doing to raise me. Now, as a mother, I understand her. I know they will grow up to be able to understand. But in raising my children, in disciplining them, I do not want to break their spirit. I do not want them to grow up with some childhood trauma that I contributed in a way to give them that type of trauma. So that is why I want to know what they think. I remember my son telling me one time after we did such meeting, he was really very little. He said, Mommy, I have an advice for you to be a better mommy. I asked him, what is it? He said, you should buy more sweets and chocolates. That was his own advice. you know, but he was a child. I decided to have this open line of communication where they can always come to me for everything. So when we cultivate the habit of letting little children know that we respect them and that their opinion counts and they can always come to us, that would make them trust us when they are going through things. And when somebody hurts them outside, they would have that confidence in us to come back to us knowing that they are not going to be blamed. Some people have been violated in so many ways. Even as an adult who has been violated, you feel a certain level of shame, not to talk of children who feel ashamed and they feel they are to blame. And when they feel as children that coming to an adult or their mother or their father, that the first thing you're going to do is blame them, they close in on themselves, they shut down, they don't talk to you about it, and they grow with that pain inside of them. No matter what we're going through as adults and we feel whatever children are going through is nothing, these children feel stressed. And even with school assignments and everything, sometimes we tell them, yes, we passed through this. We should also realize that children, young people, feel stressed. Sometimes they are overwhelmed. I believe in tough love also. But when you see someone failing in something, that is not the time to start telling the person, look, your mates did this, your mates achieved this. There are so many parents who use comparison as a form of education. And sometimes you don't even wait and listen to the child and understand where the strong points are, because something like failing an exam might seem irresponsible to some parents because you spent money, you put in this, you did that. But actually sitting down to talk with the child to understand what the problem is, why didn't you get this, why didn't you get that, and actually making the child understand that you are listening and that you are there to proffer solutions to whatever problems. As parents, we try to encourage our children. Sometimes I even feel I push too hard too, when I would say at least get an 8, at least get a 9. Yeah, there are ways and there are ways. And when you see a child beating himself or herself down for their mistakes, for their failures, that is not the moment to come with your own criticism, with your own blame, with your own raising of your voice or whatever. Because in that moment, you don't even know other problems the child has that he or she is not talking about, is not telling you, that might be compounding whatever situation they are going through then. And that is why we should, apart from our children, apart from our family members, you don't know what anybody is going through, you don't know anybody's mental state, and to be kind, to encourage without throwing people under the bus, without abusing, without being offensive to people because you think they are not doing enough. Because let me tell you something, when you're going through depression, it can tie you down in a way that sometimes you don't even want to get up from the bed. And some people consider it laziness. It's not. People are going through a lot in this life, and let us all try to be kind. Thank you for listening to this video, and I hope you learned something from it. If you have any opinion, if you have any comment, something to add to what I already said, go to the comment section, and I want to hear your opinion. Other people are reading too. And if you have not subscribed and you've been watching, please subscribe and become a part of this family. Thank you very much, and God bless you.